Are you looking for an afternoon boost to support you until the children go to bed or to get through that evening meeting? Why not reach for a cup of ceremonial cacao? It will boost your energy, reduce your inflammation, and also allow you to go to sleep at a decent hour. For more information on how to grab your ceremonial cacao, check out the link in the show notes for 10% off.
Welcome to Willow Healing Matters, the podcast. We are so excited to have you joining us on this journey where we explore different ways to empower your soul, whether it's healing in your kitchen or all the way up in the corporate world. Come with us as we look into different ways to heal your mind, body, and soul. Hey everyone, it's Crestani with another episode of Willow Healing Matters, and today I am joined by the lovely Amirah Daley. So despite building a successful career in wildlife television, working alongside legends like David Attenborough and Chris Packham, Amirah quietly struggled with anxiety, low self-esteem, and health issues. A chance encounter with a Reiki healer at a festival sparked a profound transformation, opening her eyes to the unseen energetic dimensions of nature and life. Driven by curiosity and a deep inner calling, Amirah immersed herself in meditation, astrology, mediumship, quantum healing, Akashic records, light language, Reiki, and intuitive development, learning from incredible teachers and practitioners. What began as a personal healing journey has grown into a passion for helping others reconnect with these subtle yet powerful forces, embrace transformative practices, and discover harmony, purpose, and their true potential. Today, Amirah is a channel for nature to help shift our personal and collective consciousness into joy, peace, inner purpose, and unconditional love. This shift is powerful enough to put us all on the path to transitioning our health and bring in abundance of all forms. Welcome to the show, Amirah.
Thank you, Catherine. I'm so glad to be here.
And I love your journey. I love that you started so immersed in nature, and yet there was obviously this disconnect because you weren't, I feel like just intuitively, you weren't doing what you were meant to be doing with nature. You were just doing what you thought you needed to do to connect with nature.
That's 100% exactly what I've actually come to that conclusion. Like, I was so drawn to nature as a child through animals, wildlife. I did a lot of conservation. I did a lot of traveling when I was older. And then I did a degree in biology where I specialised in wildlife. So I was doing mostly zoology topics. And then I went on to do paleontology. So I was studying the evolution of animals. And so I was very sciencey. But I think that route completely left out, like, the feeling of nature and the that intuitive connection with nature. It was all about learning the animals' names, learning the scientific facts, and all of that kind of stuff. And yeah, I don't think I was meant to be connecting as much to that side. I think it was the reason why I was born loving animals was the opposite side of it kind of thing, the more intuitive side.
Yeah, and it's almost like they took away the wonder, right? The wonder of, hey, look at this beautiful tiny flower and the intricacies of it, because you're too busy analyzing all the science and everything attached to it instead.
Yeah, 100%, because I feel like everything's put into a box. Nothing's real until it's proven. It's very like clinical. So yeah, I think now it's good to have that background, and I'm really grateful for it because I can kind of use both sides now and like kind of merge them a bit. But my heart's definitely in channeling nature, understanding like the unseen, and where we're all connected to nature. So yeah,
I feel that's such an important point that you're bringing up, because a lot of people forget that we are nature and we are part of nature, and that, you know, any harm that we do to nature is actually directly harming ourselves in an essence.
Yeah, exactly. And this is why I am so passionate about it, because we are so connected to nature that when we're doing conservation and trying to look after nature, we're just looking at the practical sides. Whereas we can change our environment through changing ourselves. So doing energy work and looking after yourself connects you to nature more and connects you to the unseen. And so you're, even without intentionally trying to help nature, you are. because you're changing your environment and you're becoming more connected to nature just by healing yourself. So there's that kind of like interplay of people really struggling to attack these big issues with their head rather than going inside and, you know, trying to attack it from an internal space.
Well, from their heart, really. So they're
Yes,
not tuning into what they feel is needed. They're tuning into what they logically want to create as the solution instead.
exactly.
And this is just what came to me just then was that example of actually not the white lions. The white lions is one example, but the biggest one, and they're saying, is like when they put the wolves back in Yellowstone. Was that it? Yes. And that wouldn't seem like a logical solution to put a predator, an apex predator, back into an environment. But when they did that, it reestablished this balance that needed to happen. And there's always this beautiful synergy in nature, and there's always this beautiful interplay between the different species and plants and animals. And it's just this beautiful kind of, you know, dance, I want to say, more than anything. And I feel when we keep trying to apply logical solutions, forgetting that nature isn't always going. Nature is always in flow, and we need to appreciate what that needs in that moment.
Yeah, and I think the solution to everything is balance, isn't it? And like nature teaches us so much about the balance. And when nature's not in balance, all of this, you know, these natural disasters and all of this can all happen. And like, it's just so important to be imbalanced in all ways. So yeah, that's another thing, is how nature can teach us so much as well. You know, yeah, it's just incredible. Like the inspiration you can get from nature, like the symbolism. I feel like everything's symbolism. So like nature, I find nature gives us symbols through so many things. Like I actually, a lot of the time my guides speak through nature. So like I'll have certain animals that mean certain things, and then I can kind of get like guidance from nature itself. So yeah.
I'm the same. So I fully resonate and understand what you mean, Amirah. So at the moment, you just reminded me, I keep having this little moth, like a tiger moth. It keeps showing up everywhere, like everywhere. Like I'll be in the kitchen, it'll land on the window. I'll be in the bathroom, it'll land on the bathroom window. You know, it just keeps showing up everywhere. And I know moths are like about transformation, but working through the dark so you can come to the light. But I was like, why is it this specific moth? So I need to have a look up that. But it's also stepping back and being present so you can notice those synchronicities that are happening, and rather than just, oh, there's that cat again for the fourth time in a row today.
Yeah, well, it's building that understanding and that trust. And I think, I don't really know where I first started recognizing that. I think I must have had a download, and I was going through like really hard times, like anxiety. I wanted to quit my job. I was just really unhappy. And I started going for walks, and I started to notice that the walks were like really helping me. And then I would just start observing like what I was seeing. And I'd notice on certain days, like certain animals would keep cropping up. And then I'd start looking into their symbolism. And then it kind of built from there. And I was noticing that on certain days when I was feeling a certain way, the same animal would come up, or like there would be a rainbow, and I'd be like, wow, that's amazing. That's like transformation. And like, yeah, just, yeah, I know I started noticing. And then when I started healing myself, it became even more powerful, because on the days that I was healing, it would be raining and it would be dark, and or there'd be like crazy things would happen. Like when I was doing some really deep healing, we've got this conservatory, and on 3 separate occasions, birds got trapped in the conservatory and I had to get them out. And I was going, oh my gosh, this is so crazy, because I'm literally like releasing myself from this like darkness, like space where I felt trapped, and like the birds were coming in to like show me that there's a way out. So yeah, it was really cool, like when you start really looking into it.
I have so many stories like this, but the one that's popping into my head is that, you know, even with plants as well, like plants can have a lot of symbolism, or they show up for us. And someone said to me that I learned a lot about connecting with plants and bees and things like that. And she said to me, whatever grows in your garden is meant for you. Like if you didn't
Mhm.
plant it, it shows up for you. And I just remembered her saying that. And then fast forward a few years, and I was studying herbalism, and then this flower popped up in our garden, and we had no idea what it was. And I was like, oh, what's that? And then as soon as I looked down on the book, the text I was reading, it was that plant. It was agrimony. I was like,
Wow.
oh, what's agrimony for? And it's like, oh, it's for your liver. It helps cleanse your liver, and it helps, do a few other things. I was like, oh, I've been working on cleansing my liver. And then I was like, oh, how do I prepare this? And then, oh, you have to pick it just before the flower blooms. I was like, oh my goodness, it's the perfect time. So I'm running
Wow,
outside
that's
to
so
get the
cool.
leaves. Yeah. And then I read this other story, and this person had this poisonous bush show up at the back of her house. And she was like, oh, that's really weird that showed up. She goes, hang on, what does that mean on a deeper level? Like you were saying with the birds, trapped in your conservatory. And she said, oh, someone's like trying to hurt me from behind. And then when she looked into it, that's exactly what was happening in her life. Someone was betraying her behind her back,
Gosh,
and she
yeah.
had to get out of the toxic relationship. So plants can show up just as
Mm.
much as animals show up. And I feel like plants are coming back in a resurgence. They're kind of the forgotten allies, right? Like plants and trees. A lot of people forget to call them in, but I love working with them when I'm working with healing or working in sessions, because they just come and they do so much for us.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've got a really good special connection with trees. Like, I absolutely love trees. I didn't realize, and like, I would always, when I was in nature, take pictures of trees, but this was before I was spiritual. And I was just like, oh, I love this tree and I love that tree. And I never really, the names never stuck. Like, I was never that person that went in and was like, oh, that's like an aspen or whatever. It was just like, I just loved certain trees. Just, I don't know. I think I was picking up on their personality maybe or something. And whenever I'm going through a deep cleanse, I like walk through trees and just sit under a tree and like hug a tree. And they're so deeply grounding, and like just asking them to guide you through the day. And yeah, I love all of that.
Same. Now you've worked with nature so much, you've seen how it's helped you with your own healing. How are you now bridging that to help your clients and people that come into your realm now?
Yeah, so I've come a long way since like I first just started noticing the symbolism and connecting. I started off actually healing animals using the body code, and I realized that I could intuitively like heal and also communicate with animals. And then I did it was a healing course, but it was led by a channeler. And so she was helping to unblock us so that we could like channel nature's guidance in general. So I realized that I really was able very easily. And I think I've been doing it all my life, but I just haven't realized that I was doing it. I can channel just like so easily that I thought some of the stuff I was saying was my own thoughts. It's like it was so, and then I'd start getting, when I was intentionally channeling, I'd be getting stuff that I was like, that's not thoughts. And then now I intentionally channel. So I can channel all kind of nature beings. I channel the whale, dolphins. I've even channeled octopus. Just like, yeah, I can channel. I've recently been channeling Mother Nature, but I do that verbally or written. But I also have light language. So I very easily now connect to nature's light language. So I just recorded a Mother Nature light language to help with like what all the things that are happening now, like with all the dense energies and stuff on Earth. And so yeah, so that's how I started. And then now I went through, well, in the last year, a really deep cleanse. And I managed to go back and heal myself from some really dark times in Atlantis, actually, where it was really like I was there at the fall, and I felt immense guilt for it. Like I felt like because I was a healer, and I feel like they took some of the codes from me and then used it in a bad way. And it was the same with one of my friends who I've recently just met, and we were there at the same time and we both experienced the same thing. And so I've basically been purging a lot of stuff from there, and to the point where ever since then, I shut down my healing ability and I disconnected myself from it because I felt such guilt. It disconnected myself from the earth, like, because I felt so guilty. And now I've like come out of it and realized, told myself it's not my fault. Like, it was just dark energy that was stealing stuff from us. And, you know, I've kind of come out of all of that now, and I've got my control back and got my healing abilities back. So I channeled my own healing ability that I had in Atlantis, that I didn't know until relatively recently that I had. Yeah, so it's it's amazingly connected to nature. Who would have known?
So well, that's funny.
Yeah. So it's a remote modality. So it's quantum healing, and it's like energetic surgery in someone's body, and it's connecting. The symbology again is used from nature. So I'll see like crocodiles in someone, and it will be like fear. So it will be like a past life fear, or a fear that they've had in this life. And then I'll be able to remove it through flushing water through someone's system. And so I connect them to the waters, which is sacred waters, from the crown all the way down to the earth. And it kind of washes through the person. And then I go through each chakra and realign all the ecosystems within there so that they're all balanced, and any darker energies I can flush through the system, basically. So their body shows me what stuff's ready to be released, and I can then see it in like the symbolism of nature, and then flush it through. And then I put like nice things in, like rainbows and
kittens,
big trees,
and puppies,
mountains to connect you with, like, just like make each ecosystem. It's like what I'm trying to do is it's like energetic surgery, but using nature essentially. So it's really exciting, and I'm like, I'm really loving it. And I'm just so glad that I went through this healing, because I would never have been able to channel this.
I understand about the Atlantean things, because one day I feel I'm going to write a book called The Truth About Atlantis, because
really? Wow.
we keep getting told it was the golden age, but we forget how it fell. There's a lot of us remember, but a lot of us remember also being used for our healing gifts, like you said, and having them being controlled and that sort of thing, which I'm happy to talk more about you after the show. But the other aspect of that is I love that you are because energy, can't be created or destroyed. So I love that you're replacing the energy of what animal shows up to symbolize, or the plant that shows up, and you're replacing it with you're reprinting, essentially. You're reprinting it with a different form of nature. Exactly. Thank you. That's the word I wanted. You're recoding it with this new nature frequency. And I feel too, a lot of people don't realize that nature does hold different frequencies. That's why essential oils work on us. And that's why, we've got all the sound frequencies and all those things. But animals and plants have their own frequency as well.
Yeah. And I'm not saying things like crocodiles are bad, but I think that's just it's kind of a bit confusing, because I see bats and I love bats, but bats are like symbolizing to me like darker energies and stuff. So I kind of remove those, but I also love bats and I love crocodiles. But I'm like, you're not welcome in this body.
Oh, it's like flies. I had this thing for the last few weeks. We just had this infestation of flies, and I'm like, what am I missing? So I was trying to connect with the fly kingdom, and it was very overwhelming. And I was like, oh my gosh, so many flies. I was like, I don't want to deal with this, because, we all think flies are annoying, but that's why they're there to go, hey, what's annoying you in your life that you're ignoring? What's going on that you need to pay attention to? And
Yeah.
it's not about, like you said, not saying if an animal's good or bad. It's like, okay, well, actually, what's the message they just want us to share and want us to learn?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's why I ask especially with crocodiles, because they represent the fear. I ask, what is the fear and where did it come from? And that really helps, like, to understand where certain energies have come from and things. With the bats and snakes, though, I feel like it comes from like dark energy that's not like entities and things like that, but it's not connected to that person. So I kind of just get rid of that. So yeah, there's all kinds of different dark energies, like the person's dark energies, trauma, So yeah, it's just working out what's what.
Well, yeah, and snakes are funny because I'm not afraid of snakes. I go down and do shaman work and I'll connect with the snake and ask the snake for healing and just let it do what it needs to do. But I have had clients and they freak out. And I actually had someone working on me and she sees, like, she's intuitive and she was doing a massage on me. She goes, "Nah, snake showed up. You need to work with this bit. I'm just going to tell you what to do. I'm not touching it." I was like, okay.
Me.
Because the snake's that mixed energy, right? Because it is associated with dark energies, but then it's also associated with Kundalini and healing. So it just depends how the snake is presenting itself.
That's exactly right. Because I've had the same thing. Like I'd been shown snakes when I was actually doing a Kundalini activation, and I was like seeing snakes everywhere, and I was like, oh, this is really nice. So I use them as a guide. But for some reason, when I'm doing the energetic clearing, they're coming up in that way. But then I also externally do like snakes because they give me information about like my nervous system or like, So it just depends, I think, in what context.
Yeah, 100%. And also the person that you're working on. Like if that person's petrified of snakes and the snake's showing up, then you obviously know, oh, okay, there's something real deep fear here that we need to really clear. Versus someone like me where I'm like, oh, there's a snake, tell me about it. You'd be like, okay, this area seems to be balanced, but there's a shark biting your bum here, so we probably need to work on that. Right?
Yeah, I've not come across a shark yet. That'll be interesting to know what that means.
I don't know. I don't know why this example just popped in my head. I just trust sometimes. But in Italian, shark is very close to, there's a word, it's like pericolosi, which means dangerous. And it always makes me think of sharks. And I don't know why, because, personally, I'm like, yes, sharks are dangerous, but at the same time, they only come after you if they think that you're food and, so all these sorts of things. But it's just interesting what triggers and makes associations that you don't even realize are happening subconsciously.
Yeah. And it's funny because everyone's so different. Like I actually find the more dangerous parts of nature actually more fascinating. So like if I went to the Amazon and I was like loving the tarantulas, the snakes, the crocodiles, I was just like, I've got no fear, absolutely no fear, to the point where people are like, okay, you need to actually, look after yourself. I'll just go in like, yeah, it's a snake, let's find them. But yeah, everyone's different.
I feel like you and I would be the best travel companions because we'd be the same, but at the same time, we'd freak everybody else out.
Yeah. Yeah, like I took my husband scuba diving and I was like, I really want you to see sharks. I really want you to see sharks. And he was like, I really don't want to see sharks. Please don't call the sharks in.
You're like, I can't promise that I haven't subconsciously done that.
Yeah, I'm powerful in nature, but not that powerful yet.
I just got, it will come. It will come.
Yeah. Oh, that would be great. Yeah.
I was going to ask you, what has been one of the coolest transformations that you've seen doing your new nature healing with your clients or your people that you've worked with?
I think at the moment, I'm really loving relationship healing. I've had some really big, actually, within my own healing, I was doing a healing on a relationship that was quite toxic. And literally, whilst I was doing it, it was playing out physically. So I was like healing So that's what I can do as well. So I don't just heal the person, I can actually also heal relationships. So I see like the chakras of the relationship, and I can kind of cleanse them and like release any toxic elements within that relationship. And just literally 2 days after I did it, this person showed his true colors, like, to everyone. And we were like, what? Oh my goodness, like really taken aback. And now I've just like, right, that's it. Cutting ties now, because I think what I did was heal the relationship for them to then show their true colors. So I could be like, okay, now I'm just stepping away because that's not what I need. Do you know? So sometimes that can be quite hard. Like, when we're going through this kind of work, it's not for the faint-hearted a lot of the time, because you've got to be actually quite strong, because it plays out physically a lot of the time. But now I'm over it. Like, it was literally a few days of like quite a hard period, but I'd spent years in this relationship, like not wanting to be there. And now I've ended it, and now I'm like, feel free. So yeah, that's the kind of thing that I can do. I mean, in my past healing, there was a horse who was lame, and now he's absolutely fine. Like, the owner is just like, yeah, just running around, enjoying himself, like loving being ridden again. And like the vets were just saying to the owner, you know, we can't do anything for him. He's lame. There's no cure. I mean, yeah, just so many things. I've cured PCOS, anxiety. Yeah, and it's all through nature. All of my healing that I've had, fertility issues, like so much stuff has all been healed through connecting with nature. And I haven't ever found the doctors as helpful. Like, especially
okay, you can
for
say
me,
that on this show. It's fine.
Yeah, especially for me. Like, they're brilliant for critical care. Critical care is amazing because, you know, if you fall down from a heart attack or, you know, all of that stuff, there's a massive place for that kind of medical care. I found with things that are like anxiety, depression, you know, chronic fatigue, all of these things, they don't know how to manage it. Whereas energy healing is so effective on that kind of things. Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess it's that whole, you're looking for the cause rather than treating the symptom. And I feel that that's the difference. And where
Yeah.
we're shifting back to, whereas people would just accept at face value, okay, maybe I have to constantly go through this system. Whereas it's like, I actually know, how do I get out of it so I can just be and live my life and choose how I show up. And I feel you bring up a really important point too with the relationships, because when you heal relationships with other people, even though they're not in the space, it just creates this ripple effect, right? Because we're all connected and we're all, you know, whether we want to be or not. And it's so often when I work with clients and we'll do some healing on them with their relationship with their parents, nearly 90% of the time, I'd be like, oh my God, my mom's calling. It's like, why is she calling? And nature's like that too, right? Things can stay dormant until they don't need to be anymore. And then they can come back and be blooming or be in life or whatever it is.
Yeah, no, 100%. They know deep down, even if they're not connected in that way, they don't realize they are, but they are.
Yeah.
It's
Agreed,
really amazing.
100%. And as we start to finish our time together, Amirah, I asked the guests that come on the show, if you could heal or change something in the world, what would it be?
Well, this is my ultimate dream, is to, like, I feel like we're in a time where we're starting to try and bring heaven on earth back. And like, I think I'm really passionate that starts with healing yourself. And if everyone can heal themselves and, you know, get to a point where they're like really connected to unconditional love, which is basically what we are, but we've just been piled up with so much trauma. But once you can shed all of those layers and you're back to that original self, then that's when the aspects of like what I think pre-Atlantis was a kind of heaven on earth. So yeah, that's the ultimate dream.
Which is a beautiful dream. It's beautiful. And if people want to come and find you, Amirah, or come and work with you, check you out, where can they find you?
So I've just set up a website now, www.the-nature-codes.com. And so you can find me on there, and that's got all of my information and scheduling for healings and everything. But also Instagram at the Nature Codes, and I've got a YouTube channel as well where I put all of my like channels and light language and things. But also I've got a podcast, The Nature Codes, which I'm on series 3 now. I took a break actually recently, but yeah, I'm going to be bringing, by the time this is out, it will be in full flow, hopefully.
Perfect. So, amazing. Yeah. And I'll make sure to pop all these details in the show notes so everyone can find it.
Thank you. That would be great.
So if you like this episode, please like, subscribe, tag, share it with a friend, share the love around. Check out Amirah's podcast as well, because we always love to know that people are listening, because it's always nice when we get that feedback. And thank you so much for listening. And Amirah, thank you so much for being on the show.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me. It's been really fun. It's lovely to chat.
My Virtual Obsession, my romantic thriller, is now available on Amazon and other online retailers. This book explores the intersection of loneliness, love, and how chasing perfection through technology can lead to fantasy and reality colliding. My Virtual Obsession out now.
Thank you for listening to Willow Healing Matters, the podcast. We have so much love and gratitude that you have taken the time out of your day to empower you on your healing journey. The views shared by the person being interviewed might not necessarily reflect that of the host and should be used at your own discernment. Trust what resonates for you and follow your heart and soul guidance. If you have any underlying medical conditions or mental health issues, please consult with your healthcare provider before pursuing any of the recommendations. Likewise, you can always contact the person being interviewed to find out more information. This can be found in the show notes. Remember to activate, align, heal, empower, and find love in everything that you do.